bounces to a curling Johnson. Fade away, good from 8 feet. Ty Johnson's locked in, Casey. Here's Johnson storming down the lane, double, clutches it up and in. Oh, Tyrone Johnson found the seam.
My year was going well. I was coming to a place where this was new to me, new system, new coach, new coaching staff. Sitting out a year without playing because transferring was very tough, but it was also very humbling. I knew once I was able to get back on the court, I knew I wanted to make a great first impression.
Back right, Johnson open, look at the three.
Yes.
Bottoms.
I think before I got injured, I was leading the team in points and assists, and that's just something that I, worked hard off for like a whole season. I set out, just constantly working on my game. My confidence was at a high level.
And Johnson had a problem running into the official, and then he hurt himself trying to avoid going out of bounds.
I just remembering just getting the outlet pass, and as I was chasing the ball down, referee was standing in front of me, and I would think that he would see me running towards him, and he would, obviously move off the court. But I guess he was looking at something else, and he had a late reaction. I didn't think that it was a broken foot at that time. I just thought it was a sprained, ankle, and the x-ray said I broke my foot. And from that moment, I was very, hurt because I know it can be long and you want to play and you can't do nothing about it except for just let your bone heal.
So Ty sustained an injury, a fracture of the bone or a break of the bone of a bone called the 5th metatarsal. On this model here, we can show it. So this is a foot, and this happens to be a left foot. But this bone right here, which is on the outside of the foot, is called the 5th metatarsal, so one of the smaller bones on the outside of the foot. And it's very common for athletes to develop injuries or fractures to this bone right here. The reason they develop that is because of the huge amount of stress that we put on that bone, especially when we're running and jumping. This is that same bone called the 5th metatarsal, and you can see again the break of the bone right here. There's a name that we use for that fracture. It's called the Jones fracture. In most cases with athletes, we actually fix this, and the way we fix this is with a screw. This is several weeks following the surgery. And what we can see is that you can still see the fracture line right there, but there's actually evidence of healing. We made a small incision on the outside of the foot right here, and we actually put this stainless steel screw directly up in the middle of the canal. And again, what we're trying to do is stabilize this in order to allow that bone to heal. This is Ty's left foot, and again, this is the one he injured several years ago and had surgery for. The exact same type of a fracture. His fracture, or the break in the bone, was right here. He has healed this very, very nicely with bone crossing the fracture, and that's what we're looking for ultimately. When he's able to do things on the court, shoot, run, when his x-rays show excellent bone healing, that's when we'll think about clearing him to get back to basketball activities.
The first thing I wanted to do was, just take it day by day, just go through the process again and listen to my heart. Just try to not think about when can I return back, when can I, this and that. With Mark, we kind of do strengthening with bands and balance. I have mornings where we lost a game and I wake up the next morning mad because I know I couldn't do nothing to help. And then knowing that I got a tough pool workout the next morning while other guys is, they're kind of resting their bodies while I'm going every day to try to get back to where they at.
This right here is the Hydra Works. It's an underwater treadmill. It's a great rehab tool in my opinion just because it allows you to do functional rehab and movements a lot quicker with the help of the water. Because by being in the water, there's a lot less pressure on the lower extremity. So in Ty's instance, if you take, for example, waist level, that's only 50% of his weight being actually placed on his foot. So it allows us to have him go through functional movement, walking, slides, back pedal a lot sooner than if we would do it on dry land. One thing, especially after being in a cast for 2 weeks and then being on crutches and being in a boot and on crutches, as soon as you get out of that boot, one of the first things you want to do is you naturally have a limp. So by restoring range of motion and walking normally again and getting that visual feedback, Ty restored his gait pretty quickly. Long way, huh? From crutches to cast, to crutches to boots, now regular shoe, getting ready to jog. Not bad, just over 6 weeks. The next progression would be obviously to raise him, but also start doing some agilities and plyometrics in the water, skips, jumps.
Mark's been great, the trainer. Some days I might not want to do it, but at the end of the day, he still tells me, you know, don't just think now, you know, think about the future because you got a future in this.
Just over 6 weeks, you got full strength now, full range of motion, going in all 4 planes. Really good. Getting close. Definitely getting close. Range of motion looks great, and strength is definitely coming along. So lateral step up is definitely one of the exercises we would do later in the rehab process. We just started doing these because it obviously really stresses the outside of his foot, which puts a lot of stress on that bone. Great exercise from a balance standpoint because it really fires and works on all the little muscles in your ankle and also promotes range of motion and works on stability.
Me and Scott, we really taking pride in just getting everything strong. Scott says that you still want to be in best shape and most physical person, so when you do return, you know, just have no problems or try to prevent the same injury from happening by just building that muscle. Sometimes I do feel like, oh, well, can I still be fast as I was? Can I still jump as high? Can I still be more, you know, quick side to side? But this is all like a mentality thing. Once I step on that court, I want to know, all right, I'm ready to go. I know what we are capable of doing. I just predict myself and my team next year of, you know, being a top 5 team inside the SEC and me being the best player that I can be, having that passion, that fire every single day, every single night, because I'll be a senior. I never want to leave a bad impression or leave my college career with a losing record. So my goal is to do what I did this year ×2. I just want to be the best I can be.